stress reduction consultant and yoga instructor. But Drake teaches us how to connect to our intuition and our natural wisdom, how to ground ourselves into deeper power and subtler awareness, which releases clarity, resilience, and kindness to flower in our lives. So much to love about that. And Drake, you've been with us many times, and it's always inspirational. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Please welcome Drake Powe.
Thank you, everyone. So happy to be here today. I'm always happy to be here. You know, I love that question early on. Is this your first time here? Well, this is my first time here. I mean, I've been here many times, but this is my first time. So I'm gonna ring the bell because I'm doing it in that spirit of coming to a freshness of experience. Like, this is the first time. No matter how many times you've been here, there's something about this time that's unique. I'm gonna ring the bell, I'm gonna ask you to listen carefully. So here we go. I love bells so much. You know, there's something amazing about them. There's something amazing about bells and about lighting candles. When you ring a bell, you know, you're listening for it. And every time you ring it, it's different. Every single time. No matter how many times you ring the bell, it's unique every single time. And it's also indicating something to us. We have to slow down in order to speed up. If you're really going to ring the bell well, you have to wait for it to stop ringing. I've rang the bell so many times, and so many times I want to get to what I want to say, and I'm like, in the back of my mind, I find myself like, oh, maybe I can stop it from ringing. But if you're really going to let that bell do it, you don't try to cheat it. You let it ring as long as it's going to ring. And when you do that, what I want to suggest is, in some sense, your best self is coming to the stage. And so today, I'm asking you to be in contact, and I want to have a conversation about the best version of you. The best version of you. Isn't that something isn't that cool? Doesn't everyone want the best version of themselves? Everyone who does not want the best version of yourself, raise your hand. Right, everybody wants the best version of themselves. And so this conversation is about you becoming the best version of yourselves and really feeling joyful about that. There's something really great about it. The best version of yourself, isn't that person going to be confident? Yes. The best version of you is a confident you. The best version of you is taking the better of two witnesses. That's the Tibetan phrase, the better of two witnesses. The best version of you is going to take every situation, no matter what it is, and is going to receive the information, and is going to take the better of those two witnesses, seeing the situation as an opportunity rather than a loss. No matter what it is, it's all an opportunity. That's the best version of you. The best version of you is glad to become the best version of you. It's fun to be the best version of you. You're having a better time. The best version of you is not like going on a desert island and eating like dry soda crackers. No, the best version of you it's a juicy experience. It's a joyful experience. You are in joy. You're in enjoyment when you're in the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself doesn't come by accident, it comes by necessity. What's that old phrase? Necessity is the mother of invention. You are inventing yourself. You're inventing yourself, and in that version, why you're inventing yourself is because you need your best self. The best version of you doesn't come unless there's a need for it. So exactly what you don't want is the call to your best self. You know, life is a comedian. Life knows exactly your sense of humor, right? It knows exactly the point of the situation for you. It knows the challenge for you. The reason why we have the bone density we have and the strength that we have is because we're under pressure. I thought that was so great. It was like we were talking about the same element. The pressure that we are under is what brings it forth. So I want to suggest something. So right now, on the count of three, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to ask you all on the count of three. Everyone close their eyes on the count of three. 1, 2, 3, point to yourself. Touch yourself right where you're pointing. And as we do now, open your eyes and look around. Where is everyone pointing themselves? We have one person is pointing right here. Most people, the vast majority of us point right here, all over the world. All over the world. And many people who do point here would often point here. By the way, I've noticed a change with computers. Many more of us point here now than used to. You know, because we're on Zoom. And if you ask people to point themselves, they're much more likely to point here. But I want to suggest that the more actual relationship to who you really are is here. You know, and again, just see it. Notice how people behave all over the world. All over the world, when people are saying something meaningful, you know what they do? They, oh my God, I feel this. They point here. When people talk about really knowing something, they often talk about knowing it in their gut or in their heart. So what I want to suggest to you is the best version of you is in relationship to your wholeness, not thinking you're exclusively here. The best version of you is your wholeness. The best version of you is a version that is related to who you really are. One of the elements I really like to say to people is I'm so happy to see you today. I'm happy to see you as you are today. I'm not having an idealized version of you. I have this joke with my wife. She likes to go to places where people are doing sales, where they take things from their basement, and she buys stuff from their basement and puts them in our basement. Right? Right? And so I want to suggest something to put out on your next yard sale. I want to ask you to put out your pedestals on your next yard sale. I want to ask you to take everyone off of a pedestal. No matter who they are, no matter who they've been, no matter how great a teacher they were. Take them off of the pedestal and recognize that as a gift. The best version of you is not on a pedestal. I'm asking you to take the best version of yourself off of the pedestal and make that person attainable. Because the best version of you, just like the best version of everyone who's ever been, is not going to be perfect. It's not spiritual materialism. It's not spiritual capitalism. I'm going to get bigger and bigger and stronger and more perfect. No, the best version of you is an individual that has compassion for yourself. And so as we begin to frame up these elements, what I'm suggesting is that the best version of you is not a destination, it's a direction. It's this way. The best version of you is this way. It's not that way. Right? It's not about being popular. It's not about likes. You know, don't you find it interesting, the more we got into this thing with likes in this last 20, 30 years, the less likable we became? Right? Don't you think that's weird? People like each other a lot less since they've been all up into likes. And so what I'm suggesting is that liking yourself, having that relationship with yourself, that relationship to self-esteem. I was listening to a book by Quincy Jones recently where he's talking about his father saying to him, the advice that Quincy Jones' father gave to him is not 1 ounce of my self-worth comes from your approval. Not 1 ounce of my self-worth comes from your approval, and not 1 ounce of yours comes from mine. And so what I'm saying is that when we're coming from inside out, what ends up happening is we actually are having a revelation. As you find your best self, what ends up happening is the way you find it is it's a surprise to you as it was to everyone else. You don't think Michael Jordan, when he did some of that stuff, was just like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. That's what happens. It's like when you catch a glass when it falls, you catch it, you're kind of amazed by that. So very often when you're speaking your authentic truth and it's coming forth and it's shining and it's flowing and God is coming through you, what ends up happening is that as you're saying it, you're realizing that, oh no, this is really true at the same time as everybody else is. So what I'm suggesting is the best version of yourself is someone that is revealed to you right in this moment. It's about finding ways to allow it to happen. You may not be able to, you might want to breeze, you may not be able to make it happen, but you can significantly raise the chances when you open the window. So the best version of yourself is not a destination, it's a direction, and you just keep moving towards it. You keep moving towards yourself. It's like having someone walking at a distance and seeing them as they come closer and realizing, oh, as they come closer, you can point out things about them. As you get closer still, you realize that it is you who is coming closer to yourself. Your best self is your authentic self. Your authenticity is the best version of you. The most authentic version of yourself is the best version of you. And so coming closer to that authenticity is part of what this mission is. Your best self is in mission. You were born with a great mission. I call it being one of the pillars of creation. You know, when what are some of the best elements? It's about being in service, but it's also about achieving your own personal greatness, your own authentic greatness, your own creative expression. It's about being beautiful. It's about understanding what you find beautiful and speaking to it. Other elements of the best self, your best version of yourself, it's involved with community. So, what we call healing circles. So I'm asking you to realize that when you're in a healing circle, every person in the circle is equally the number one authority. If we're in a circle, we all are in authority. So that's another element of it. One other element of your best version of yourself is that it's relaxed in relationship to your body. When you release judgment, you relax. Your body relaxes when you release judgment. When you release judgment for everyone else, your body relaxes. So these are elements of the best possible self. And so I want to go through this, and I want to go through some practices, and I want to ask you every day to dedicate yourself towards that direction. One of the elements is this time is the time we were born for. Absolutely. Do you really feel like if you had a child, you're going to make that child feel good if you're often telling that child that you wish he or she wasn't there? That's what happens when we have that relationship to life. What I'm suggesting is one of the elements, and I'm this is how I roll. I'm a yes guy. I'm a yes. Yes. Absolutely yes. For this time, excuse my language, hell yes. I don't hardly ever swear, and I always apologize before and after I do. And that's the biggest ones I do right there. But I'm saying yes, enthusiastically yes. So becoming your best self is about developing the practice of studying what it means. Enthusiasm is one of the relationships to your best self, the best version of you. When you're enthusiastic, you are the best version of yourself. Enthusiasm, understanding what words mean, entheos, it means to be one with God. When you are one with your sense of what is sacred, you are your best version. So I want to do a little practice that kind of gets us out of our head and into our body. When we relax into our body, our best self emerges. Right? Remember, if you are going to go eat somewhere, you don't want someone ordering for you. You don't want to go, this person will have this, this, and this. You want to be able to express it to ourselves. What I'm saying is that your best version of yourself wants to express itself. It doesn't want you to express it. So I want to ask a few questions, and I want to do a little practice. What are some of your best version? Do you have any questions or statements about that? Any statements about what it means to be your best version? How do you do it? What is your process? This is a circle. I'm interested. I want to learn. Anyone else? Yes, please. Speak loud, too, please.
I was in Tony Robbins' workshop that was for free. It was 9 hours or 12 hours long. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we did was we created goals for what we wanted to achieve for the year. And but one of my goals was to help the homeless. And then we were supposed to create a massive goal, which was supposed to be like the kingpin of what you want, the transformation you wanted. Mm-hmm. And so mine was to feed people.
I love it.
That came out. It was like, if I feed the people, then I'll get what I want, basically. But what was interesting was when I checked into that and saw what that was about. It was about self-worth. Mm-hmm. So that was really interesting. So I kind of was curious about your comment about your worthiness doesn't come from other people. Can you speak a little bit more about that?
Yes, 100%. So, what ends up happening is when we focus on trying to be worthy to other people, what ends up happening is that we are stars that are blocking our own light. A star doesn't limit the level that it radiates. It's going to shine into the world as far as possible. A star shines from inside out, not outside in. And so, we here in Minnesota, we are familiar with this element, SADS. Is that familiar? Seasonal affective disorder. I think that's what it's called. It comes oftentimes because we're not getting enough light, we're not getting enough vitamin D. And so what I'm saying is that when you're in a situation where you're blocked from light, you don't get enough of that shining. The plants all turn towards the sun. And I remember listening one time on public radio where it was talking about how children, do much better when you have adults that, when their faces shine, and you're like, what's going on with you? When you're excited about what a child's doing, don't they get excited too? So what I'm saying is your self-worth is about receiving your own light. Your light shines from the heart and from the face. So when your light is shining from the heart, it's shining out. But if you're focusing everyone else's opinion first, you're putting yourself on the other side of a cloud cover from your own light. So, and as a result too, we're not actually following our mission, which is to move closer to ourselves. So does that make sense at all? Thank you very much. Yes, does anyone else have any questions? Yes.
It reminds me a little bit of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it's like so often when we're doing stuff for others, we're trying to get our own needs met, and until all those needs up to every level seems to get met, and then at the top level is our authentic self that can really shine once all our other needs are met. And I'm just curious, how we get past that,
Well, it's
always wanting our own needs met, even if it's belonging or validation.
Yeah, well, it's a limitation. What I'm suggesting is the invitation to genius. When you invite genius into the space, genius always does something that you don't expect. You don't expect the great idea when the light bulb goes off. You don't expect the light bulb to go off. You don't have it scheduled. And so what ends up happening in that is that we become responsive rather than reactive. Reactivity comes from our preconceived notions about how things need to go, and that our preconceived notions are often based in how we're irrational. So what we end up doing is we create pre-existing codes that we can check in on so that they remind us and keep us in alignment. One of those, it's just little jokey things. One of those for me is that if you expect an irrational person to be rational, what does that make you? Irrational. If you expect an irrational person to be rational, that makes you irrational. Even if you are irrationally into what you're upset about, if you think you're going to make the best choices when you're irrational, that's clearly an irrational position. But if you get grounded and calm, and get into your body, you also get into your intuition. And your intuition is what leads you. And it may have you feel like the idea of the expression of doing something for the homeless. But the point is that when you are in purpose doing what you were meant to do, you are always going to have better self-esteem. So thank you. Yes, please, we have someone right here.
Excuse me.
Yeah, my question real quick would be, I understand not trying to get proof from others, but
I'm sorry, not understanding what?
No, I understand that, so I'm just trying to add a point on.
Okay.
So what about when let's say you're a flower that's in the sun and it's always nice, there's always going to be consistent growth at that point, but then there's the opposite side where a flower like on the side of a hill with like barely any sun, like that one will have a stronger root system. So like what are some ideas to create, not necessarily turmoil, but like something to avoid certain forms of complacency? Like, you are okay, but you need to like, how do you add that into the value system of like expressing self? Because you're good, but like you feel it could be better, but it's not like because you want to impress someone else, but it's because internally you're like, I'm just feeling like things are okay.
Yeah. So if you look at our YouTube channel is called Touching the Edge. Touching the edge. And it's crucial. That's why we call it that, touching the edge. Because that answer is really, there's always an edge. It's right now. The edge is always right now. It's where you're a little bit nervous about stepping towards. It's about that level of what, no matter how great you are, there's a level that you feel a little queasy about putting yourself out there. But it's about touching the edge. It's about moving towards where your edge is. It's about doing what you're capable of and not pretending that you are when you're not. So it's about having a relationship to self-honesty. There's always going to be an edge. There's always going to be a place where if we put our hand on that, we're just a little bit concerned. Sometimes it might be in social interaction. So what I'm saying is that the more focus we get in swaddling ourselves and being as comfortable as possible, the more we go to sleep. The edge is putting yourself out there so that, when you touch your edge consistently, it's also about honoring your own limits. We all, and having other people do it as well, we all have boundaries. And we also have boundaries with ourselves. Your edge is about also you touching the edge of your own boundary, but also learning to trust yourself that you're not going to try to force yourself beyond your edge. So it's really a creative process. To me, this whole element is really recognizing that this life is a form of artwork. This is a piece of art. Your life is performance art. It's about doing something that's pleasing to you. And if you have a sense of mission that you kind of shy away from, if you feel like you're meant to write a book and you don't do it, if you really see the homeless and you try to pretend like you don't, wherever it is, there's something in you that's going to be the perfect expression. And that's what we're all here to do, is to lift all of us. And I think a big part of it comes too in community. This is one of the elements. Again, I'm just fascinated by this. Did anyone ever read that book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance? Came out, I read it when I was like 16 years old, which was like 5 years ago now. Okay. But I read it when I was like 16 years old. And I remember one of the things that he said in that book that kind of stood out to me. He said that technology is supposed to make things more simple, but it always makes things more complex. The technology was supposed to bring us closer together, but it feels like we're more separated. But what I'm suggesting is touching the edge is finding a way. Like for us, we do healing circles, and we do them online. Some of them are funded by the state. And so what I'm suggesting is getting in these circles, and even in the process of conversation, we actually end up finding something that's distinct in our own individual purpose. So thank you very much. So any other question before we do a little bit? Should we do a little bit of practice real quick? And so I'm asking you to do this every single day. This is actually simple. It's not hard. I mean, what could be simpler than being you? You could roll out of bed and be yourself. Right? So being you is about you saying yes to your own experience, you being you and being at peace with yourself. The point of power is always right now. This is the point of power. The most important breath is the one you're taking right now. And so today, I'm asking you to do this, and I'm asking you to really make this the beginning. On our YouTube series, we have almost 700 videos up on our YouTube series. We just finished this series saying that the end is the beginning, meaning that exactly what you don't want is exactly what you need to begin this next period of your life. Exactly what you don't want is exactly what you need. I'm asking you to remember these 3 words. These 3 words, I put these 3 words out, I pull the angel cards: birth, purification, and love. I'm going to say it again: birth, purification, and love. And I want to suggest to you these words, and I've developed the faith that every time I pull an angel card, the exact right card is going to come up. I'm what I describe as positively delusional. I mean, I promote a latent sort of positivity. I believe in us. I believe in our collective mission. So every single day I'm asking you to affirm our collective mission and affirm your own individual one by doing something to calm and soothe your nervous system every single day of your life. Every single day of your life. And making it a practice to learn how to calm and soothe your nervous system. Why do you think you just know how to relax? I'm suggesting to you that you have to learn how to relax because you have to learn to get to know yourself in order to learn how you need to relax. So, every day calming and soothing your nervous system is also about creating a lifelong practice of learning how to calm down and learning how to be compassionate with yourself. When you're compassionate with yourself, you will be responsive. When you are responsive, you will be kind to yourself. So every single day, do something to calm and soothe your nervous system. And secondarily, every single day, do something that connects yourself to manifestation practice. Live in the question. Live in the question. Learn that the whole process of being your best self is moving towards your best self. It's not about being there. So every single day, learning to relax and relax your relationship to your body. And one of the first things I want to ask you to do every single day is to activate your posture. Activating your posture. Activating your posture is one of the best ways to promote agelessness. When you promote agelessness, when you change your relationship to aging, you become your best version of yourself. This life, this is the choice. You have the choice to become the best version of you or the worst version of you, and you get to choose it. So becoming afraid of aging is one of the ways to activate your least effective self. Recognizing that you're ageless. Have you ever seen an elder who has they maybe have wrinkles, but their face is shining and they come in and oh my God, everybody loves them. I'm telling you that the two heights of human beauty are a young child and an elder who is ageless. Okay? Every Tuesday at 1 o'clock we do a Zoom class funded by the state on agelessness. So activating your posture promotes agelessness. So if you wouldn't mind, can we do that right now? Can we stand up for a moment? Now, this is a gift to yourself, so be aware of how you're feeling right now emotionally. Now, the feet are hip width, palms are out. Be aware of your chest. Little things make a difference. Bring the chest up. Now, pull that navel in just a little bit and start doing easy, backward, languid movements. Slow it down. The animals we have in our life, we can learn so much from them. Now I'm going to ask you to turn aside, don't hit anybody, and start doing backward circles, easy movements. Your cat, your dog is in their body. Now coming back to center, what I'm suggesting to you is that there's a part of you that's in relationship to your body that has no judgment for it. It's just experiencing it. I'm going to ask you to hook your clavicle, stretch your chin up, open and close the mouth. Angle it one way, oh my goodness. Angle it the other way. This is getting ourselves into our body. Now be aware of your abdominal wall. Pull that navel in 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna bring my hands behind the head. I'm just gonna stretch gently through the back of the neck. Go easy. Angle it one way, nice and easy. Angle it the other way, nice and easy. Oh my goodness, let it go. By the way, I teach yoga. But I'm going to have to put out a video because I tend to groan too much when I do my yoga. I'm like, oh God, oh. I got to work that out. I haven't figured that out yet. So the left arm is dangling. Bring the right hand up and just gently open up the left side of the neck. Oh man, that feels so good. And the right side. So the body has its own experience. The body feels good. It doesn't have judgment for itself. Your body does not have judgment for itself. Feet are hip width, hands are like this. Now I'm going to pull the shoulder blades tight. This is a sun salutation. I'm going to put the tips of shoulder blades in the back pocket, ears over the shoulders. I'm opening up the heart. Active core, let it go. We are literally opening up the heart. Shoulder blades tight, put the tips of shoulder blades in the back pocket, ears over the shoulders. We're literally opening the heart. Inhale. You wouldn't be able to do this if you weren't safe. Exhale, one more time. Shoulder blades tight. Put the tips, shoulder blades in the back pocket. Ears over. You're opening the heart, sun to sun. Let it go. Breathe. Just let it relax. We're gonna do just a couple more. I'm gonna grab my right wrist, I'm gonna firmly pull it down, I'm gonna angle my head over towards the left. Just feel it out. I'm gonna grab my left wrist, I'm gonna angle it down, I'm gonna angle my head over towards the right. Feel it out, breathe. So everything we're doing is coming forward. We want to train things to go backward a little bit. Now the forearms are up, palms are up, they're like goalposts. I'm gonna rotate the forearms back, bring the chest up, soft hands, ears over the shoulders. Now let it relax down, breathe. Feel how this is changing our relationship to the shoulders. Rotate the elbows back, bring the chest up, ears over the shoulders. And let it go, breathe. We're gonna do it one more time. Goalposts, rotate, chest up, ears over the shoulders. And let it go, breathe. This is the last movement we're gonna do standing up. Now my head is level. So one of the things that happens when we're armoring our heart and when we're on the computer a lot is our head begins to stick out. Your head begins to do this. And so what I'm saying is that a part of how people recognize our age is by our posture. And so what I'm going to ask you to do now is my chin is level. I'm going to bring my chin forward slowly, keep it level, come back as far as you're comfortable, guide it a little deeper with that pinky or that pointer finger. Let the shoulders and neck relax. Breathe. I'm going to do it again, this time with my hand underneath the chin. It's going to come forward, come all the way back, relax the neck and shoulders. Let it go. We're going to do it one more time. Come forward, come all the way back. Use your pointer finger to guide yourself deeper. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead and have a seat again. Now be in the breath, be in the body. Don't judge the body, just experience the body. Does anybody remember Howard Cosell? I'm so glad some people remember Howard Cosell. I was doing a presentation one time recently where I brought up a Rolodex and nobody in the room knew what it was. And so I was like, okay, Howard Cosell, you know that commentator? We have this critic who's always judging everything. Oh, my neck hurts, blah, 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 blah. We just want to experience it. I'm going to bring my right hand on my left shoulder. I'm going to see if I can put my right ear on the front of the right shoulder. Feel it out. Your body knows there's a point of release in there that's looking for. Let it go. Your emotions trap themselves in your neck and shoulders. My left hand is on my right shoulder. I'm going to see if I can place my left ear on the front of the left shoulder. Feel it out. And let it go, breathe. So as your body is going on in the day, the more stress you feel, the more angry you feel, the more judgment you feel, the more constricted your body becomes. And so one of the things that happens, and so what I'm saying is, this is a nonlinear de-escalation, by the way. One of the things that we talk about often is nonlinear de-escalations. And I want to suggest that you become good at de-escalation. De-escalation is these emotional experience of conflict that you don't want to be in. But sometimes they just happen and you're there. And so we want to have a template for how do we handle conflict. And I want to suggest to you that the worst time to do a fire drill is when the fire is actually happening. All right? We want to do those fire drills before things are happening. And so having a nonlinear de-escalation, when you de-escalate someone without them knowing you're de-escalating them, that's a nonlinear de-escalation. And so we want to get good at de-escalating ourselves. And so when we have issues and challenges, I don't know how to deal with that. But you do know how to de-escalate yourself in other areas, and one of them is by de-escalating your body. And so every day throughout the day, I'm asking you to marble little de-escalations throughout the day by getting into your body. And one of them is to release your rib cage. So my forearms are up, my palms are up right where you're sitting. Now I'm going to bring my chest up nice and high, and I'm going to firmly press my elbows into the back of the chair. Now inhale, let it relax, and now I'm asking you to actually feel this. Now I'm asking you to feel this. Two elements. I'm asking you to feel your emotional experience and your rib cage at the same time. So forearms up, bring the chest up high, press the elbows into the back of the chair, and feel how your rib cage is shifting. Now let it go, breathe. So one of the things our rib cage is designed to do is to do this. But if it gets constricted, if it gets locked up, and if it's locked up too long, it becomes arthritic. And we lose this capacity. What we're doing is we're increasing the rib cage's ability just by doing this movement. And also feel your emotions while you do it. One more time. Chest comes up, press the elbows in the back of the chair. And let it go, breathe. So again, this is easy, not hard to do. When you did that, if you're in contact with yourself, you notice that your emotions shifted just a small bit. What I'm asking you to do is to learn how to shift your emotions just a tiny little bit. If you learn how to shift your emotions a tiny little bit, it ends up being able to change everything. But if we are focused on changing the biggest emotions we feel, we end up feeling like they're too powerful for us. So, one last one now, and then we're going to go into a little focused meditation. I'm going to ask you to release your jaws. Your jaws tell you the truth. Your jaws tell you how tense you've been. Right? And those jaws are so powerful, they're fibrous. So I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in. Magnificent yawn. Can we do that? Can we take a nice sound? Breathe. Now notice on the other side of that, anytime you do a practice, you always want to notice right after the practice. Notice the afterglow. When do you make that sound? When something is delicious. Right? What you're doing is you're reminding yourself that life is delicious right now. Two things I want to suggest that are really, really great for everyone, all of us. More women know this than men, but for all of us, a good cry is sometimes, chef's kiss. Sometimes a good cry is exactly what you need. And sometimes a good yawn is exactly what you need. And so I'm asking you to bring those yawns consciously into your life. Okay? So just feel that now. Now let's activate the de-escalation template. Now this is, we want to practice this regularly throughout the day. And we want, right if you ever have a conflict come up, someone cuts you off, someone behaves in a way that you find inappropriate, I'm asking you to remember this. It's very simple, and if you practice it regularly, you'll do it automatically. So right now, tongue is in contact with the roof of your mouth. Gradually slow your breathing down. Don't just do it all at once. Gradually slow it down. Gradually deepen your breath. And get into rhythm. The universe, everything is about music. Everything is about rhythm. So slow your breathing down and feel the rhythm of your breath coming in and out of your nostrils. Notice details about it. Feel the humidity, the temperature of the air. Breathing slowly and easy. Tongue is in contact with the roof of the mouth. Drop awareness into the lower abdomen, an inch below the navel and half an inch in. This is called the hara, H-A-R-A. So these are not just like some, these are actual points. Feel that spot, an inch below the navel, a half an inch in. Slow the breathing down and have your awareness in those two spots at once, the breath and the hara. Now, since you're shining out your awareness, notice. Find some subtle experience, perhaps listening for any sound, listening for sound or the absence of sound. Noticing sound behind sound, hear the echo in the room. Slow the breathing down. Awareness in the hara. Feel gravity pulling you into your chair. And right in the center of the chest, I'm asking you to visualize this as a star shining in every direction at once. It's your state of being. It is your deepest awareness of being. I am. Breathing slowly and easily. I am. I am. Breathing slowly and easily. Now I'm just going to ask you to do one more element with me. As you exhale, I'm just going to ask you to slowly turn your head to the right. Go slow. Now there's always an edge. Feel the edge. Don't push into it. Only go as far as it feels right. Inhaling, coming back to the center. Go slowly. Exhale. Coordinate the movement with the breath. Going towards the left. Go slow. Inhale. Slowly back to center. Exhale, raise the chin, go slow. Inhale, come back to neutral. Last one, dropping the chin. Inhale, coming back to neutral. Now I'm just going to ask you to take 4 easy breaths, just 4 breaths in through the nostrils. Inhale. And as you exhale, opening the eyes. So what did we just do? We did the posture series. We opened up the posture. And we did the de-escalation template. We only did 2 things. notice how you feel different emotionally. Okay, so what I'm saying is getting into your body and relaxing your relationship with your body. When you have judgment, your body becomes more tense. When you relax, your body becomes more open. When your body is tense, you're also blocking the flow of genius. So when you are relaxed, and you can learn to be relaxed, even in really intense situations, that's when you flow more fully. So those two practices, just notice what they did. Now I'm going to ask you to do another one with me. I'm just going to ask you just to take a look around this room. I'm asking you to really see. Don't just look at this room. See it. You may have been here 1,000 times or 100,000 times, or maybe your first time, but see it as though this were the first time. There's elements about this room that have never been exactly like this before. And when you're taking in the room, also take in the people in the room. There's a quality of observation that is very, very powerful when we recognize it in relationship to dream life. If you ever have a lucid dream, if you ever wake up in a dream and it's the same experience that we're having right now, you're gonna be like, wow, this place is amazing. Look at that paint chip. So I'm asking you to activate this. Your best version of yourself is living in a dream and not a nightmare. So I want to ask you if you wouldn't mind to sing. I wrote a song. I'm going to ask you to sing it with me. It's called Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Yeah, I wrote it. Yeah. No, I didn't write it. But I do think it's a very, very powerful technology, and I want to ask us all to sing it. I want to ask us to sing it 3 times, and then pause, sing it 3 times, and then pause, and then sing it 3 times. I'm asking you to feel it as we're doing it. So here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Pause. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Just breathe. Feel it. I'm going to ask you to place your left hand over the center of your heart, your right hand on top, and just breathe into your hand. Just feel it. Allow that message of that song to go deep inside that energetic heart. And let it go. So my friends, what I'm suggesting to you is life is but a dream, and it's your choice if you're going to make it a nightmare or not. And if it's a nightmare, that is not your best version of yourself. And just going back, so what we just did just now, we did the de-escalation. First of all, we did the posture series. We did the de-escalation template. We ended it by turning our head with the breath, which helps us to get into our body and out of our head. And then we sang. Does anyone have any questions or statements? How did that go? Did that go okay for you all? Did that feel okay? Does anyone have any questions or statements? How did that feel? Excuse me, can I ask you how that felt? How did that feel, all those practices?
Well, I've actually had extremely bad neck pain and just like tenseness recently. So all of that felt really good. And then especially the one where we were like pushing our arms into the chair.
Yes,
And
yes.
I thought that was interesting. You said you might feel an emotional change because I literally almost like started bawling my eyes out when I was
Yes.
doing that.
Yes.
So yeah, it felt really, really good.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. So again, I just want to suggest you, and I'm asking you to see yourself as powerful. I'm asking you to see yourself as a magician. When I was learning, and by the way, when I really got going on this path, I was in a state of what felt like utter hopelessness as a child. It felt completely and utterly hopeless. And what I'm saying is that, I found hope, and so that's part of why I feel so much hope right now. So the exact thing that we don't, want ends up becoming an avenue like this neck pain. This thing with the rib cage, you can take that the rest of your life. And so what I'm suggesting is just doing those little things just throughout your day. So thank you so much. And I wish you great luck with the neck pain. Also, make sure that we're drinking water. Make sure that we're drinking water. So thank you. Any other questions or statements?
We're about out of time here, Drake.
Oh, sorry about that. My bad. Sorry about that. Okay, all right. Well, I'm just going to ring the bell. I'm going to ask you to listen carefully. One last element of your best version of yourself is you're going to laugh. I bring my hands together and I bow to you in joy. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Wow. That was terrific. And we knew it would be. Thank you so much. That was so practical. And the ending to row, row, row your boat, that's such a... I've heard that my entire life, but I've never heard the ending. That was just brilliant and so practical. Could you please tell us again, where do we find you on YouTube? And is there any other ways to access this beautiful wisdom?
So on YouTube, our YouTube channel is called Touching the Edge. There's probably almost 700 videos up there. We also, our website is drakepowe.com. We do also Zoom trainings throughout the week. One Zoom training we do that's funded by the state is agelessness, which is at 1 o'clock on Tuesdays. So, and by the way, it's really important for us to really show up right now because as we all know, there's a lot of changes going on. And, part of how we can vote for something to be valuable is to show up. So, we have to really show up for community right now. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. Well, now is the time. And by the way, that's Drake, D-R-A-K-E, and then Powe, P-O-W-E.com. So thank you so much. Can we just give another round of thanks for some terrific wisdom? And if you're interested in that, again, all of these Sunday messages are on YouTube and other places. So if you want to access more of Drake's wisdom, just look him up on either the Lake Harriet website or his website. So thank you so much. And now is the time for us to give generously from our hearts. We are a volunteer organization, and we are run entirely by the gifts and generosity of the people here. So we just invite you to give. Thank you. And by the way, you can give. We have a Venmo QR code in the basket, and you can also give online at lakeharrietspiritualcommunity.org. There's a button you can click. So thank you for your generosity.
You're not alone. I'm with you. I'm lonely too. What's that song? Can't be sung by two. A broken home, a broken heart, isolated and afraid. Open up, this is a ray I wanna get it through to you. You're not alone. You're not alone. Every night I stand in your place. Every tear on every face tastes the same. A broken dream, a broken heart, isolated and afraid. Open up, this is a ray. I'm gonna get it through to you. You're not alone.
Right. Thank you, and thank you, John. And if you can please raise your hands and repeat after me. God's perfect love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Aho, thank you for your generosity. Now it's time for our closing circle. And, as I stand up here and look out at each of you, and Drake, I think of your message, that divine, beautiful nature inside all of us. Isn't that just something? Look out. Just this place full of beautiful people.
I love it.
So please know your value. Please know your worth. And thank you for being here. Please, maybe, Ruben, if you want to maybe form the outer edge there. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
So I just want to suggest, just possibly, but first of all, I want to just talk about the beauty of circles and this amazing circle that we have right here. And really how each one of us is the heart of the circle. And I want to suggest that the best version of yourself is a heart-centered self. And I want to share for you, how meaningful this is to me. So my cousin who passed away not too long, today is his funeral. And he was my first friend. And our chinchilla is also passing away today. My daughter is brokenhearted. But this is an expression that joy is not necessarily happiness. And joy is always your best self. So, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Namaste, my friends. Peace and love. Carry it to the day today. And one last thing I'm asking everyone today, one last thing. Throughout the day, just say I am and pay attention. So, thank you very much.